Hello, kids. This is Jim Lowenstern coming to you from, where are we? The top of the Castle's Luxury Space Needle in Boston. Haven't used that opening in a while. We have a special guest today. Well, first of all, Larry Laufer is my co-host today. Want to give a shout out to Larry. Hey, Larry, how's it going?
It's going great, Jim. Going to be a good show.
Good. We have Courtney Allee from Dunn, North Carolina. She's an EXP agent, but not just any EXP agent. She is an icon agent. She got her start in real estate in Louisiana. She's now in North Carolina, as I mentioned. And she specializes in fix up homes and flips, and we're going to have the most amazing conversation we've ever had on the show today. How you doing, Courtney?
I'm good. Hot, but good.
Welcome to the big show.
Thanks.
So Larry has the first question.
Well,
Okay.
there we go. So what makes you so successful? When agents come and talk to you and say, how did you become an icon agent? You must have some habits. You must have some procedures. I'm interested in knowing what makes you so good.
Well, so I say yes to everything. So it doesn't matter if it's somebody calling me to try to sell me leads, or, another brokerage trying to recruit me, or a lender who wants to have a meeting. I say yes to everything. And I try it all, and I keep what works and I throw out what doesn't. And I feel like to be successful, there's really only a few things that you have to do. You have to be the agent that your clients are excited to work with. You have to be the agent that other agents want to work with. You have to be the agent that the lenders want to work with. And you have to answer the phone. Pretty simple.
Larry loves that. That's music to his ears. And as soon as you told me, you answer all your calls, because that's the way I am. I answer all my calls. And I notice that nobody ever answers my calls.
I answer your calls, Jim.
I got an agent yesterday. I texted him, and Larry knows this story. I'm not going to go into the details, but I texted him, and he said, and if coincidentally, wasn't he on his way to North Carolina?
He is. He is.
He was driving.
We should get a referral.
He couldn't take the call because he was in the car driving. Is that not the best time? He was texting me this while he's driving,
is illegal,
but he couldn't take the call,
which would have been legal.
Which would have been
illegal. When I'm driving, I'm doing emails, I'm texting, I'm calling, I'm putting things on my calendar,
doing Google searches.
Yeah. You will be pulled over in this state.
Yeah. Now that because we have such a high listener and viewership. Be careful.
I'm not sure.
I don't think we have a state police demographic in the show. I haven't checked it recently, but
maybe. But this may be actually boosted. Might be scary.
They're coming for me.
They're coming for you.
Now, so I don't know
Courtney,
about your area, but here where I am, I'm in a very rural area, and so I service. 35 minutes down the road is nothing for a showing, sometimes 45 minutes, sometimes an hour. So as a realtor who's trying to show and work, I don't know how you don't respond to emails or text while you're driving. I mean, because that's the majority of my time is on the road.
Yeah. And we get our texts and our emails. So many of us, especially if you've been in the business for a long time, you have a forward-facing, consumer-facing email address. Every spam person in the world is on it. So I'm not the only one getting about 500 emails a day. So I kind of bulk them up in the morning and at night, but I always answer my phone. Always answer my phone.
Yeah, I noticed an email. I mean, today's Thursday. And I get so many emails, I can't even keep up with deleting them fast enough to reach the ones that I missed. So this morning, I'm kind of catching up, and I found an email from Monday night, like 10:45 Monday night, hadn't responded, but right in my listing, it clearly says, actually, I even took the call out. I just said, text Jim, because the easiest thing on the phone is to look at the texts. You don't get as many spam. I mean, email is just brutal.
Agents don't read.
Yeah, that might have been her problem, but
Well, I have to
probably gonna have a showing anyway.
interject there. I know we can put all the information that we want into the MLS and all of the agent notes and all of the documents. But for an active agent who is on the road all day, that's another reason why I'm working and driving, because a client will text me or call me and say, hey, can we go see this house? And I'll immediately pull it up on Realtor, on Zillow, whatever. And then my next step is to call that listing agent and say, hey, can you tell me about this? Is there a road maintenance agreement? Is there that? Is there this? And as a predominantly buyer's agent, I know that listing agents get frustrated. That's in the MLS. You couldn't read that? I'm on the road. I just
Yeah.
got the text.
Because it's funny, this agent that called me left no, she emailed me. And it clearly said, just text Jim. I should write, just text me, don't call me, don't email me. And but of course, I called her immediately. It was like 8:00 in the morning, whatever. She didn't pick up, of course. And what does her message say? It says, you can leave a message here, but it's better if you text me. She's basically saying the same thing I was saying to her, but she didn't even offer me the same consideration when I asked for it. Whatever.
Courtney, I have
All
to
right,
tell
so
you that I'm
that
sorry. Courtney, I have to tell you that agent that was pushing back on you because you didn't read everything that was there because you called, that's a bad agent.
Well,
Or
I
you
mean-
or you got them at a bad time, because why wouldn't you answer questions with a live
I don't
person?
have a tongue anymore. I've just been biting it for so many years.
I have wrinkly toes from having my foot in there, but that, it's another day in real estate.
right.
Yes, and a lot of those toes have been in your mouth during the show, I guess.
More than once.
We have evidence.
Thank you, fans. I appreciate all your comments. Courtney, I want to get back to actually a real estate show.
Okay.
Why did you pick the niche of buying and rehabbing? And do you have a whole group
Fix and
of
flips.
contractors and things like that you work with? What's your process?
Well, so I didn't pick that. Like I said, I say yes to everything. And so I started working with this investor. I started working with this wholesaler, and then another wholesaler called me, and then I hooked up with another investor and find me something. And so I started sending them properties, and now it's to the point to where I'm like, hey, this looks like a good one. And he's like, go look at it. Let me know what you think. If it's worth it, we'll write an offer. So I didn't choose that. I just stumbled into it, because once you do work with one, then they tell so-and-so, and then that person calls you, and it's just like a domino effect.
So you got an opportunity and you ran with it. And because of that, other opportunity came, and now it's kind of a niche for you.
Well, I mean, I'm still predominantly residential sales. I just happen to be investor heavy right now, and they are chomping at the bit to get projects. But I mean, I still do.
So your business is word of mouth. It's not really coming from social media. You pretty much don't.
Yeah,
do
if you pull up my Facebook, you will see almost nothing about real estate.
And your
I'm
LinkedIn profile is pretty non-existent.
Oh, did you look me up? I don't even know the last time I updated that.
It hasn't been in years.
What
Okay.
about the KV Core website? Do you use that?
So I did do one Facebook campaign using KV Core. And I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I pay for realtor leads. I pay for Zillow leads, and I follow up with them immediately. They were my bread and butter when I got here. And I finally, so I don't know if you guys are aware, but like Jay Kinder and Braden Kinder have a whole like step-by-step how to set up these KV Core Facebook ads promotion, and it's awesome. It's totally automated, but you get so many leads. Like I couldn't keep up. And I'm probably about to convert 2 of them, and I only had it on for like, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks. And I'm still getting texts from that automated KV Core, but it's just not as
What's
warm.
these EXP agents that are training? Kinder?
Jay Kinder, he is the upline. He started Honey Badger Nation.
Oh, okay, Jay Kinder. That's a familiar name. Yeah.
And his son, Braden, has these, I mean, step by step, exactly how to set up a KV Core ad campaign and funnel it. Well, a Facebook ad campaign and funnel it through KV Core.
And these are on Workplace?
They are not on
KV Core.
Workplace.
I brought it up here.
Okay.
This is the KV Core, my KV Core. So you get all your notices and everything on there, but it's
So that's on Real Estate Today?
no, it's on KV Core. It's part of the
kvcore.com.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Let me
Good. All right. So being in North Carolina, okay, well, let's start off. You started in Louisiana. How many years were you in the business there?
So I got licensed in 2004. And then right before I moved up here, I took a 6-year break doing property and casualty insurance, which actually is very helpful for this industry. I learned a lot about roofs. I learned a lot about foundations. But I took a 6-year break to do property and casualty insurance. And then when I moved up here 3 years ago, I got back into real estate in North Carolina, and boy, was it a great time. But it was a very big learning curve, because things that you have to consider and learn here are not even a thought in Louisiana.
Such as what?
Things, well, like perk test and designated wetlands and setbacks and things like that. In Louisiana, like there wasn't a perk test. Our soils are saturated. Our septics are a tank septic with a line out to the ditch. And people up here think that's unheard of. That's disgusting.
Doesn't sound too sanitary.
Okay, so if you have a sprinkler system up here and it's spraying your lawn, how much more sanitary is that?
A sprinkler? What's unsanitary about a sprinkler?
Because it's the effluent from the septic.
Not my sprinkler.
yeah.
No.
Not here. It's a separate line. But anyway, we can't compare things like that.
Yeah, no, it's not even close.
It's a whole different end.
Yeah, we're not having a show about knocking Louisiana either.
Exactly.
That's next week's show.
Exactly. But the price points are different in every area. But what we're doing and what you talked about as key components to your success is always being willing to answer your phone. Mm-hmm. And I like the whole I always say yes. That's that's a good thing. Because but I bet you also say no. I'll bet you say no to people who don't trust you, who aren't comfortable. Yeah, don't respect you. I'm sure that there's a no in somewhere in your Rolodex, another old guy term.
Well, I'm Rolodex. No, I mean, when I say yes to everything, I mean, if somebody calls me with this new program, if a lender calls me and asks me to coffee, If a brokerage calls me and says, hey, let me tell you about my brokerage, can we have a call at this?
Yeah, but yeah, that's
say
how you
yes.
found out about EXP. You were open-minded to hearing it, hearing the story. So that's my question. I've been searching for the question. So here's the question. You get that call from whoever, and they say, Courtney, I want to tell you about EXP. I don't know how the call went, but I'm
Well,
assuming
that's not how it happened. So
okay. Tell me
when
how
I
it
moved
happened.
up here, I was actually running a team, admin for a team that was at KW. And the team leader was like, I'm thinking about moving. I want to make a switch, blah, 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 blah. You know, all these agents are going to EXP. I was like, well, let's go meet with somebody. Let's talk to somebody. So she called up Tina Call and she was like, yeah, come to my house. I'll tell you all about it. We met with her and her husband and she gave us the rundown on EXP. And when we left, I said, we're stupid if we don't move.
Yeah, Tina's been on our show. Yeah, we know Tina.
So I mean, EXP offers so much, and I help newer agents, and I have no intention of starting a team, but they're like, oh, you should start a team, or are you going to go off on your own? And my husband and I have spoken about it. He just got licensed recently. And I'm like, if we started our own brokerage, I couldn't come close to offering everything that EXP offers.
Exactly.
And the system is already in place.
Exactly.
Like you just can't beat it.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yep. Got it.
Yep.
Okay. So we know why EXP. So in North Carolina, so Larry and I are in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
EXP is here, but I'm not gonna say it's exploding. It just is. It exists. We should be at what do you think, Larry? 3,000 or 4,000 agents? I mean, we probably have 20,000, 30,000 agents in the state. EXP generally is what, about 5% of the total number of
Yeah.
agents?
Yeah. Well, it's absolutely true. The Northeast is kind of old and stodgy. It takes
Slow
everybody
to
a long-
adopt.
slow to adopt. You know, they're quick to adopt technology, but that doesn't mean brokerages and all
Even
that
Keller
kind of stuff.
Williams. I mean,
Right.
Keller Williams is established now in Massachusetts, but it took literally
many
almost
years.
a couple of decades to
Yeah.
really accomplish anything. I
Well,
can remember 10 years, it was like one franchisee in the whole state.
Well, but I will tell you this, and we talked about this briefly before we started. I went up to Philadelphia recently to help another agent figure out where she was going to be and what she was going to go. And I think the culture here has a whole lot to do with why there's so many EXP agents. I was saying this before, like the EXP agents here want to help other EXP agents and see them succeed. And
Right.
it doesn't benefit them. It's just a whole culture of help, support.
Well,
And
it does benefit though, right?
well, what do you mean? In what way?
It benefits if we bring, say they're not in our downline, where they're not part of our compensation
Network.
model.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you bring in another agent and that agent becomes successful, their success helps EXP, which helps us. If you are using one of the ways to make money is buying, taking 5% of your commission each thing and buying stock. I've built up $7,000 in over a year, a little over a year, and that's like found money. And it didn't cost me $7,000. It cost me like $1,500.
Courtney's probably smiling. She's going, "Oh, I had that much last month."
Well, that's okay too.
How many years have you been an icon, Courtney?
So this is, well, last year was my first year to icon. My cap just started over in April and I'm on trajectory to icon again this year. So I'll be at I'll be a 2-time icon by next April.
So do you feel like the North
Congratulations.
Carolina market in general is on fire, and a lot of that has to do with your success?
I feel like if you answer your phone and you get up and you go to work and you talk to people and you do a really good job and you're somebody that people want to work with, you can be successful.
Yeah.
If you
But you
don't
have to do the-
follow up,
it
if
doesn't
you
just
don't
come to you.
genuinely care, because there are agents out here not making it, right?
Of course,
Um,
everywhere.
Because people think it's easy, but you have to make yourself get up and work in the morning.
It's easy when it is. Like when
Right.
that, I mean, I just had, out of the blue, these people went to Mexico or whatever for a week. They just came back. They want me to show them $3+ million houses on Saturday. I didn't call them, they called me, texted me, whatever. So that's easy when it happens, but to get those people, years and years of calling, you know, people only see the real estate agent turning the key in the lock, opening the door, and making big bank. They don't know all the work that came before that, all the late nights, all the weekends, not at the beach.
All the rejection.
Yeah.
Right.
All the
A lot of,
rejection.
there's a lot of
Oh, yeah.
rejection.
Yeah.
In this industry, and rejection comes in a lot of different ways, but you have to have the resiliency to understand. Some people, when they say no, they're saying no, not right now, or they're saying no because you didn't ask the right question. I mean, there's so much to this, and the consistency of action is what makes everybody successful.
I had a funny call yesterday. I was calling a broker that I've done a lot of business with, actually was in a partnership with many years ago. And I was basically, it was a recruiting call. And he said, no, not right now, but Jim, I'm always going to take your call. And who knows, maybe someday, whatever, a lot of people, and Courtney, you know this, they don't even pick up the call. And you're never
They
going
don't
to
get back to you,
What's that?
and they don't get back to you.
No, they
I
don't.
mean,
return calls.
that's 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten clients before that are like, we're working with an agent, and I'm like, okay, I'm ethically, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. And they're like, she's not calling me back. I haven't heard from her in 3 weeks. I've been trying to see this house. And I'm like, this is a competition situation. If you want me to work for your business, yes, we can do that. But if you are obligated to an agent, then I ethically cannot step in. But it happens a lot.
Right.
And sometimes you just have to remind people, listen, you're going to do also what feels right for you. So maybe right now you want to work with this agent, even though they're not doing a good job for you. If anything changes, you know how to reach me.
Yeah.
And if I don't hear from you, I'll probably call you someday in the future to remind you that I'm here, and to remind you that this is my phone number.
Yeah, well, the KV Core, you can have that done automatically.
Drip campaigns.
Really nice. Yes. Once a month.
I don't know if
Market
either of
report.
you looked at, I just saw yesterday that there's this AI communications tool. Is that part of KV Core, where they took from my notes? I noticed, because I write notes about each client, they took from my notes and they created these conversations I could have with my clients.
Oh,
And
cool.
that was on the KV Core. I had never seen it until
Oh,
yesterday.
that's cool.
I don't remember what it's called. It's like Chat AI or something. And
Yeah,
it's supposed to be super helpful. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet though. But you can ask it things like, tell me the best 55 up communities in Johnston
Right.
County, North Carolina. I mean, and
Right.
it's always learning. But I think one of the drawbacks with it is it hasn't been updated since 2021 with the stats and stuff. So for a state like North Carolina, that has new subdivisions and communities popping up like this, it's going to be a little bit behind.
Yeah.
Well, the big news on AI in the last 48 hours, because I don't think it was yesterday, I think it was the day before, it was Elon Musk. And I think they're investing, Tesla, that is, because he owns a lot of companies, but Tesla's investing $1 billion a year in this Dojo AI. So it's going to be just for the cars, but when you're building computers that are that big, who knows what's next?
Yeah, well, I've watched several. AI is supposed to be the way of the future for realtors. I just don't think there's anything that can beat a personal relationship.
Unless it's a personal relationship. You know, you could have this smart AI doing, and then you go and meet the people and you talk like a hillbilly. Not up here. You talk like an
Yeah, you can't talk to someone in North Carolina about hillbillies. Come on, Larry. the foot.
I listen, it's clear it's not you. That neck isn't red, is it? I can't see. Anyway.
Oh,
Okay. So let's talk about, so you're telling us about a great fix and flip historic house, only 75,000 on 2 acres.
oh, it's not a fix and flip. I got involved with this property because I thought it would be a great fix and flip. But as it turns out, it's going to be very expensive to rehab it, because it is a 200-year-old 4,000 square foot house on 2 acres. It is registered with the Historical Society. And so whoever renovates this property is going to have to do it 2 period. So all of the mantles, the wooden mantles that are carved, that are laying against the wall, are going to have to be brought back to life and used on the fireplaces. It currently doesn't have any plumbing. It was actually used as a hospital during the Civil War. Everyone asked if it's haunted. I haven't seen anything. But I got involved with the property because one of my investors is like, 4,000 square foot house, $75,000 on 2 acres. Like, that's a no brainer. We'll demo the house and put 2 houses on it. But no, it's going to be much more entailed than that.
So who owns it right now that they're willing to let it go for 75,000?
The woman who owns it is actually, she is involved in real estate. I don't think she has an active license anymore. And a friend of mine has it listed, who lives about, I don't know, 50 minutes from here. And so she's got it listed, and we started talking, and I was like, this house is amazing. I love it. It's 200 years old. It's in really bad shape. And she said,
What town's it in?
It's in Dunn.
Done.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so if
very
anybody
near the Aversboro
wants to live
Museum.
in a house that doesn't have any plumbing, doesn't have a kitchen, has
Oh, it's
old
torn down to the
windows.
studs.
It's no insulation either.
They didn't do insulation 200 years ago.
Well, it could have been insulated. In 200 years is a lot of time not to have insulation. Insulation wasn't just invented last week.
Right.
No, and
Well,
they did insulation 1,000 years ago.
I just don't
on what it
understand how
was.
in 200 years it doesn't have plumbing. Were people literally going outside for 200 years?
well, okay. So first it was built for a family, and then the Civil War happened. And so it got turned into a hospital. And from the time of the Civil War to current, I'm not sure how long it's been vacant. But someone who had it before now decided, hey, this was a hospital during the Civil War. Like, we should turn this into a museum. And started demo, and then it being registered historic, I think it got a little too much. Because there are a lot of covenants that have to be followed for this property.
Yeah.
And are there actually people in Dunn that go around checking on these things? Or could I buy that house put 100 grand into it, live
It's gonna
there
be
for the
more than
rest of my
100
life,
grand.
which isn't gonna be that much longer. And then they'll find out that I did all this stuff and come after me, but I'll already be dead.
No, 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 no.
No.
No,
You have to, before you do anything, you have to get approval from the Historic
but it's
Society.
2 acres in the middle of nowhere.
Well,
I could do-
actually,
I could
there's
do
a
the work
house
and not
next
tell anybody.
door and a house behind it. It
Okay.
is,
And it's
It
a
is-
small town. People are driving around. They're going to see contractors. They're going to see, and what person isn't, hey, what's going on down at the Baxter property?
Well, it'll be the Lowenstern property.
well, and there's a time limit too on the renovation. So you can't just buy it and let it sit.
Yeah. So let me ask you, because I'm part of my town's historic committee. Is it state, local, or federally historic? Because those are three different levels of compliance.
Right. I will have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's a federal historic.
Okay.
But it may be, I'll have to go back and look at the covenants. I don't remember right off the top of my head.
But in any event, because it's locally historic, then it comes under the local historic zoning, which is why you would need a variance, or they would have to look at all the plans and everything.
They
To
have to,
approve them.
correct. They have to
Yeah.
approve everything.
Yeah.
I mean, but a 4,000 square foot, I think someone should take it on and turn it into a bed and breakfast. I think that would be adorable. And I think the Historic Society would be excited about that because people would get to come in and see the history and actually sleep there. But I mean, I've shown it to a couple of people who are very interested. So we'll see if it comes to life very soon. I'm excited for it.
So you have a septic plan, is that, or is there a sewer there?
It'll have to have a septic tank.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
sewer?
But there's no
done?
plumbing right now, so
Is there any sewer
So it'll be new.
sewer hookups and done?
I'll
oh
bet
yeah,
not.
in town,
Okay.
not out there.
Okay, cool, very cool. So EXP, thumbs up, you're gonna stay?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, I've been with Century 21, I've been with KW, I have interviewed every other brokerage that has called me, and no one can offer what we get. 80-20 split until you cap, and then up to $16,000 back in stock after you icon, and then the equity share program and the stock awards and the rev share. I mean, I can't see another.
But
brokerage
wait,
to
there's
compete with
more.
that. Well, and then also too, like I'm a certified mentor, so I get
Express offers.
income from the mentor program. I am Express Offers certified. So, I mean, and all of these resources are free from EXP.
And how
Right.
important is the physical office? Do you go to a Regis office, or does your team that you don't have
That was
physical
one
office
of
in
the
Dunn?
main reasons that I was drawn to EXP, because most of my friends are realtors, and I have friends that are realtors at other brokerages, and they have weekly Zoom meetings, monthly in-person sales meetings. They are numbers driven. So there's somebody telling them, hey, your numbers are this, they need to be this. And EXP, I mean, we're our own boss, really.
You have to be an entrepreneur. If you're not a self-starting entrepreneur, EXP might not be good for you. But if you are, it's the best place to be.
Or if you
Well, and
want to have an entrepreneurial mindset sort of by osmosis, by just hanging out with the people that are rocking it. There's rock stars at the company.
Right. Well, but so here's the thing with EXP. A lot of newer agents come on, and there are so many resources and so many tools, but the person that recruited them hasn't like kind of walked through them. through it with them. And I feel like we lose a lot of new agents who are inexperienced because we don't have an office and there's no hand holding,
Right.
right? But anytime I do a deal across the table with a new agent, I'm like, call me if you need anything. Text them, hey, are you on Workplace? Are you on this? Are you on that? And just by being helpful to other agents, not even being their mentor, like people have stayed because they're like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't realize. Like,
Yeah.
it can be overwhelming for a new agent because if you go into EXP University, I mean, how many classes are there a day? The Go curriculum, which just got changed to, I don't remember what.
Yeah, I spoke
like-
to an ex-EXP agent a few weeks ago. He said, I was going over everything with him. He says, I thought my sponsor owned the whole company. I didn't know it was this big company with all these tools and all this technology. I was just amazed.
Right.
I said, really? You didn't Google it and see that it was publicly traded, paid a dividend? You didn't see any of that stuff.
Right.
How's that possible?
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what question should Larry have asked you? Or should I have asked you that we didn't?
I don't know. That's it. This is your show. What
Okay. Sometimes we think of things after the show, and I just
Yeah.
didn't want to
Yeah.
have the opportunity lost while we have you.
Right.
If we've missed anything that's important to your business or to how you're working right now, and something that's new, something that's coming down the pike that you'd like to share.
Well, I will just say this. So here, a lot of agents, especially old school agents, a lot of real estate instructors will tell new agents coming on, don't buy leads, work your sphere, don't buy leads. It's a waste of money. And I will tell you that Realtor.com has been at least half my business my first year here, at least, if not more, because I didn't have a sphere. And if you think about the activities that you can do to get business without buying leads, what are they, right? So work in your sphere, farming, door knocking, calling for sale by owners, and all of the time that it takes you to do that. What do you think is the return on the time that it took you to do those things versus actually paying for leads and having somebody answer the phone that is ready to buy a house now, that you don't have to work on for a month, 2 months, 3 months? Like, it's the return on your time that's important. So
do you
all these
still
people
use-
who are against buying leads, I feel like leads work.
So you're using Realtor.com now?
I am using Realtor.com and Zillow right now.
Is that opacity that you're working with?
Opcity.
Opcity.
So Opcity is free through EXP. Did you know that?
Did
Well, it's
not?
free to everyone. Yeah, it's pretty easy. Opcity.
Okay,
Well,
so
they take a huge chunk though.
Yeah, 35%.
Correct.
It's not free.
30 to 35% is the Opcity referral fee. So Opcity is free. Realtor.com leads you pay for on a monthly basis, and
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no referral fee at the end.
Yeah,
But yes, I have Opcity
you,
too.
you pay up front. Okay, so what have we learned? We've learned it's good to buy leads. It's good to always pick up the phone and return calls. Good to have an open mind. And if you work hard in the real estate business, you might be successful, like Courtney Allee is successful.
Courtney, how can people get in touch with you after seeing this great show and realizing they don't want to talk to Jim or I? How can they get in touch with you?
But we're in different states. In Massachusetts, they can call me. In North Carolina, they can call Courtney. And if I get a call, Larry, I'll call you.
Well, I mean, anybody, so this is an EXP podcast. Anybody with EXP can look at my EXP website. All my info's on there. If you Google me, Courtney Allee, Realtor, you'll see my Google business page. You'll see my Realtor.com profile. You'll probably see my Zillow profile. I'm very easy to get in touch with. I might not do a lot of social media, but I am Googleable.
Googleable.
And you'll pick up your phone. So, we are the Exponential Files, and you should subscribe to us and like us, and be in touch often. We'll be back
Or
next
subscribe
week.
to us if you don't like us. That's okay
Yeah,
too.
yeah, just do it for the heck of it. Thank you, Courtney Allee. Thank you, Larry Laufer. Everyone have a great week. We'll see you next week on the Exponential Files. This is Jim Lowenstern is signing off for this week.
Great to meet you, Courtney.